Fourth grade, there's no Zern today. It's just me, myself, and I, and my lovely notebook. And so together we're going to be taking some guided notes on adding mixed numbers. So that's what you're going to be putting into your table of contents. Your next page number, for me it's 37, and the title, Adding Mixed Numbers. And when you're ready, flip to your next page and let's get going. To set yourself up for success today, start with your title at the top and then draw a long line down the center of the page. Because when we add mixed numbers today, we're going to be using two different strategies to solve, and you're going to pick out which one is your favorite to use. We're going to be solving 3 problems today using both strategies, so that's plenty of times for you to figure out which one you like best. This strategy over here, I'm going to call make a whole. Because our goal is to make a whole in order to solve. This second strategy we're going to call decomposing, because by the time we add our answer, it'll be a large improper fraction, and we need to decompose it. So our 2 strategies are called make a whole and decomposing. By the way, while you're writing these titles, the word whole, W-H-O-L-E, guess what? That's your password today. Shabam! There it is. Your first problem is going to be 4 3/4 plus 3 2/4. Don't mind the little whiteout mess up. It happens. It's cool. I'm even going to rewrite this number sentence because, like I said, we're going to do 2 different strategies on the same problem to really see which one we like better, which is more efficient for us, which one works better with our brain. Let's start by making a whole. Now, when we add mixed numbers and when we subtract mixed numbers, we want to make sure our like units are added and subtracted together. Our like units are the ones that match each other, like ones and ones, fractions and fractions. So I'm going to start by adding my ones together. 4 plus 3 equals 7. Now your brain's probably saying, all right, Mrs. Schumann, now we're going to add the fractions together, right? Well, hold on just a moment, because I noticed that when I add these 2 together, it's going to be greater than a whole. It's going to be 5/4, which is more than 4/4. So instead of adding them together, let's place our fractions in the number sentence and think of a way that we can make a whole. 3/4 is only 1/4 away from making a whole. Are you getting the idea of why we're calling it make a whole? So I'm going to decompose 2/4, and I'm going to break it into 1/4 and 1/4. By decomposing 2/4 into 1/4 and 1/4, I can combine these 2 together to move up to the next whole number. I've decomposed 2/4. It doesn't exist anymore, so I'm going to cross it out so I don't use it again. And I'm going to combine 7 3/4 plus 1/4. 7 3/4 plus 1/4 gets me to the next whole number, which is 8. And then I just need to add 1 more 4th to my answer, which is 8 and 1/4. So now let's try decomposing. I know I'm also going to get the same answer, 8 and 1/4, but I'm going to get to it by using a different strategy. Just like in my first strategy, I'm going to add together my whole numbers, 4 plus 3, for a total of 7 wholes. Then I'm going to add together my fractions, 3/4 plus 2/4. Again, I notice that it's greater than 1 whole, but you know what? When it comes to decomposing, I don't care, because I'm going to decompose it eventually. 3/4 plus 2/4 equals 5/4. Now I can't just leave my answer like this, because this is not a real number. 7 really truly is a whole number, but this is an improper fraction, so together as a mixed number, it just doesn't make sense. So I'm going to have to decompose these 5/4 to make another whole group. 5/4, take out 4/4, and I'm left with 1/4. I've decomposed these 5/4. It doesn't exist anymore. I've broken it into these 2 groups. So now I have 7 plus 1 whole plus 1/4. 7 plus 1 whole equals 8. And 8 plus 1/4 is 8 1/4. So now you've done two different strategies. Draw a line underneath where your work ends because we're going to do another problem and we want to organize our work, each problem at a time. But before we move on to the next problem, decide which strategy is your favorite and put a smiley face next to it. Personally, I thought decomposing was really efficient for me, so I'm going to put a little smiley face next to decomposing. All right, let's move on to our next problem. This time we're going to solve 3 3/8 plus 2 6/8. I'm going to write it twice because I'm also going to solve it over here. All right, let's start with make a whole. I'm first going to start by adding together my ones. 3 1s plus 2 1s equals 5 1s. But again, I notice that these fractions are greater than a whole. So instead of combining them like I would in this other strategy, I'm going to keep them separated because maybe I can clean them up and turn one of them into a whole number. 3/8 plus 6/8. How many more 8s would 3/8 need to move up to the next whole number? I would need 5 more 8s. So I'm going to take that from my 6/8 over here. And after I decompose, that leaves me with 1 more 8th. I've decomposed 6/8, it doesn't exist anymore. And now I'm going to combine these two numbers together. This mixed number plus these additional 5/8 move us to the next whole number, which is 6. Then I'm going to add 1 more 8th for a total of 6 1/8. Now that we're getting the hang of it, we're getting pretty snappy with this. Let's try it again by doing our decomposing strategy. When we decompose, we're going to add all the like units together. We're not going to slow down. We'll just keep going. 3 plus 2 is 5. 3/8 plus 6/8 equals 9/8. We knew that our fractions would add up to something greater than a whole, but that didn't stop us. We kept going. So now we're going to do the decomposing part of this strategy. Since this is greater than a whole, let's break it down into one whole and its additional fraction, which is 1/8. And now you no longer exist, 9/8. I make you disappear. You're gone. I'm going to add this one whole to the number 5. 5 plus 1 more whole equals 6. And then I take my additional fraction and put it at the end of my mixed number, which is 1/8. So we get the same answer, 6 1/8, 6 1/8. I don't know, guys. That one kind of switched up on me. I really liked making a whole on that one. That one felt really efficient for me. So I'm going to put my smiley face here. Feel free to put your smiley face wherever it felt more comfortable for you. That's your decision. Could be the same strategy. Could be a different one. And now let's move on to our third problem, which you're going to be a little bit more independent for. Okay? We're going to solve 2 4/5 plus 1 2/5. I'm going to rewrite the problem again. Let's get you set up on making a whole, and then I'm going to release the control to you. You'll pause your video, finish the problem, and check your work when you get back. I'm going to start by adding together my whole numbers. 2 plus 1 equals 3. But instead of adding the fractions together, I'm going to keep them separated. 3/5 plus 2/5. We want to create one whole by adding as many fifths as we need to move up to 4. 4/5 is only 1/5 away from the next whole number, so I'm going to get that 1/5 from the 2/5. Now that I've decomposed this to make a whole, pause your video, finish the problem, and when you get back, let's check and see if we got the same answer. Pause in 3, 2, and 1. Did you get 4 and 1/5? We combined 3 and 4/5 to 1/5 to get a total of 4. For our last problem, we're going to solve 2 and 4/5 plus 1 and 2/5 using our decomposing method. And again, I'm going to set you up, but you're going to be independent. Together, let's add our like units together, our 1s and then our 5ths. 2 1s plus 1 1 is 3 1s. 4/5 plus 2/5 equals 6/5. So here's the part that you're going to do independently. You're going to decompose your 6/5 to find another whole number and rewrite your new mixed number. Go ahead and pause your video and come back for your answer in 3, 2, and 1. And again, you should get 4 and 1/5. We decompose 6/5 into one whole group, 5/5, and one extra 5th. 3 plus 1 equals 4, and our 1/5 goes at the end of our mixed number. And again, I really liked the make a whole strategy for this time around. So for my last smiley face, I'm going to give it to make a whole. So now it's your turn. Practice some more. Good luck.